Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Hanover man charged with wife's murder. Homicide detectives attached to the Hanover Criminal Investigations Branch on Tuesday charged a man for the murder of his wife in early November. Junior Grayson is accused of killing 35-year-old Judine Simit Grayson. The body of Mrs. Simit Grayson was found on November 8 with multiple stab wounds at the couple's home in Santoy District, Green Island. Police say the body has been locked inside the house and there was no sign of forced entry. This prompted them to launch a manhunt for her husband. Mr. Grayson was captured in Clarendon. He reportedly told investigators that his wife has been killed after an intruder entered the dwelling and attacked them. He said he managed to escape. Mr. Grayson is booked to appear in court next Tuesday. Man and woman charged after St. Thomas gun fine. Police have charged a man and a woman who were detained following the seizure of an illegal handgun and several rounds of ammunition at Whitehorse in St. Thomas. Duran Anthony Foster and LaDonna McLean, who were last week charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition and possession of ganja. The two were taken before the St. Thomas Parish Court after being charged and ordered to return on December 5, 2022. The police reported that about 5:30 a.m. on November 16, a team of lawmen executed a search warrant at a location in Whitehorses. While searching the premises, the police team observed a man fleecing and discharging an object as he ran. He was pursued, caught and the item retrieved. The item was found to be a .38 special revolver loaded with 6 rounds of ammunition. The two people were taken into custody. ITA resumed test driving at examination depots. The Island Traffic Authority ITA says it has resumed test driving of vehicles at examination depots. The practice was suspended in March 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic. Nicholas Taylor, motor vehicle inspector at the ITA, said the test driving process has been adjusted following complaints about the handling of vehicles of some inspectors. We have taken some measures to address the officers and instruct them on how to drive the vehicles, different procedures, the figure 8, so we go and we get left and right turn, and how to apply the brakes, and not to drive the vehicles so fast, he disclosed. Dante Matthews, Education and Information Officer at the Road Safety Unit, said it's imperative that motor vehicles go through an inspection process to identify critical defects. Among the defects he highlighted are heavily tinted windscreens, defective broken system, defective indicators, and headlights, as well as the color of headlights. He said many motorcycles are also found to have silencers and mirrors removed. Mr. Matthews said defects are logged into the ITA system to prevent motorists from circumventing the process of purchasing a new fitness receipt and going to another depot for inspection. First 5 of elective buses for the JUTC arrive in the island. The first of 5 elective buses acquired by the government for the Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC arrived in the island last week and is being prepared for deployment. JUTC Communications Manager Cecil Toms says the other elective buses will be delivered next year after the company goes through a pilot phase with this first vehicle. He says the JUTC is processing the license, insurance and other requirements for the elective bus. Mr. Toms says the elective buses will, among other things, help to cut down on the issue of fluid theft. With the arrival of the new elective bus, concern has already been raised by citizens about maintenance of the vehicle. Mr. Toms ensured that the vehicles will be kept in good order.
We're pleased to announce that the first of 5 electric buses has arrived in the island. The bus arrived just over a week ago. It seats 35 and has special needs access to accommodate members of the disabled community. We're hoping that in another couple of weeks after the completion of the licensing and insurance processes, as well as naturally with this new product, new bus, that there will be staff training and sensitization. The JUTC will be embarking on a pilot project to test the unit in anticipation of the arrival of another electric buses, which we expect in the island next year. After the licensing and the insurance process, we're going to go through a series of staff training. As you know, it is a different system from that of diesel-operated buses. After the sensitization, we'll be better able to tell you where we're going to put the bus, but we haven't yet decided on a route per se just yet. That is part of the process. That is part of the mindset to incorporate newer technology, the diversification of our fuel systems so that, we operate a more modern transport company. And pretty soon we're going to be setting up some ports at one of our depots to deal with recharging. This is the first of 5 to come. We don't anticipate that we will have these issues. Naturally, in the contracting process, those issues would be ironed out with respect to the transfer of information and how you treat with this kind of new bus. So time will tell, but we do not anticipate that we'll have those kind of challenges with the new buses that are to come.
NSWME seek to clear backlog of uncollected garbage across the island within 2 weeks. The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWME, is seeking to clear the backlog of uncollected garbage across the island within 2 weeks. This after 50 garbage trucks were handed over to the agency on November 30, following an estimated 2-year delay. Executive Director of the NSWME, Alder Gordon, told reporters that trucks have now come at a good time as all parishes are experiencing backlogs in garbage collection. Noting that this Christmas will be a clean one, he said major cleanup exercises were conducted in some areas, including Portmore St. Catherine on December 1.
And so we look at the areas where we have backlogs and we are attacking them aggressively with a plan to clear all backlogs within 14 to 16 days. In other words, we're not going into the Christmas with any backlog at all. We intend to give Jamaica a clean Christmas, and I tried to explain a clean Christmas earlier today in Portmore while on the operation there. A clean Christmas doesn't mean you won't see garbage, because we generate garbage minutely, and especially the Christmas Eve, a lot of garbage is generated. But what the clean Christmas means for us is that nobody should have garbage spilling over, running over at their gate at Christmas, right? And we intend to do that by clearing all the backlogs that we have in the system now, and then going to the Christmas week on schedule to be doing our weekly collection. And we are well on target to do that, and the 50 truck couldn't come at a better time.
PSOG says people need to take responsibility for their role in corruption. President of the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOG, Keith Duncan, said persons need to take responsibility for their role in corruption. Speaking at the Public Body's Corporate Governance Award yesterday, Mr. Duncan noted that Jamaica continues to have issues with corruption. He said Jamaica has made little progress on the Global Corruption Index, while noting that a mindset change is necessary as it relates to corruption. Mr. Duncan noted that corruption is both a public and private sector issue.
When we look at the Transparency International Corruption Index, Jamaica's ranking has been in a range for the last 20 years. Our ranking was at 70 at the end of 2021 and had a corruption index score of 44. But what is more telling is that over the last 20 years, our score has averaged 37.8, which indicates that Jamaica has a serious corruption problem. More than 85% of Jamaicans believe that both our political parties are corrupt, and we seem to have normalized and accepted the level of corruption in the same way as our crime epidemic, where we accept this as being normal. That is something that we now need to have a mindset change around. In the same way that we have been able to manage our fiscal affairs and our economy to put us in this place, we need to do some work in this area. As we go forward, from a corruption perspective, and corruption is it takes two hands to clap, public and private sector, two hands to clap, because somebody have to pay, and who is normally doing the paying? The private sector. We need to take responsibility and accountability for that. We have put in the institutional framework, MOCA, FID, the Integrity Commission. They must begin to catch some big fish now, because our people need to see examples that is not only them that are suffering the consequences. They need to know that justice for all, not just for some.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification